Welcome everyone, this is Honest Restart, and this time I want to talk about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Deluxe. Now you may be wondering, why am I adding the Deluxe? Well, I'm saying this to suggest the next iteration of Smash Bros., but not quite a Smash Bros. 6. This is what I think is next for the series, and I think it's something we'll be seeing for Nintendo's next system, which I don't think is too far away. Right now, we are in the 6th year of Nintendo Switch's life cycle. By March of 2023, we'll be entering the 7th year of the system's life cycle, and I do think we're seeing signs that something is coming fairly soon. I think it will be relevant for a few more years, kind of like how 3DS was relevant for a few years even though the Switch was out. But I do think there's a good chance we see this system come out even as early as next year, if not perhaps the year after, as some analysts have been predicting. The point is, I do think a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Deluxe is what's coming for the future of the Smash Bros. Series, and that's what I would like to focus on today. Now before we jump into things, let me first very quickly mention my social media. You may see a few different things here on screen. You can check that all out, it's linked in the description below. And of course, if you like what you're seeing here, you can subscribe or perhaps consider joining as a member. Now I understand some of you may disagree with a deluxe version of Smash Ultimate for the next system of Nintendo because, well, every new Nintendo system we get a brand new version of Smash Bros., so why only would we be getting a deluxe this time around? Hear me out. When we take a look at Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, it truly does fulfill its namesake. It is the ultimate Smash Bros. Game. We've seen characters like Sephiroth and Sora and Banjo-Kazooie added through the DLC. There's so many characters, there's so many stages. This game accomplishes so much. With the amount of characters and stages that are in this game, it's going to be very hard to follow this up, as noted by Sakurai himself. So what's next for the future of the series? Do we just add another Smash Bros. That has everything in Ultimate, and just a few more characters, a few more items, a few more modes, and there you go, call it a day? They could do that, but that's going to be extremely challenging with all the third-party partnerships in place. It was a special thing to actually literally have every single Smash Bros. Character in history in this game, including Snake from Metal Gear. Bringing back every single character from these different third-party companies isn't realistic. Not to mention, at some point or another, I'm sure that when it comes to Smash Bros., they want to do more than just add a few more characters, add a few more stages. They want to have a little bit more of a new idea to the series, something that brings in fans to come back for it again, as opposed to just, well, here's a little bit more. So basically, this is the Smash Bros. Sequel problem. If we just have a direct sequel, it's unlikely that they will measure up to what was accomplished with Smash Ultimate. So what is the solution to this problem? Well, there's a few different things that could happen, and maybe they could all happen at once. One thing is to simply wait a long time until it's a good point to bring out a new Smash Bros. Where it will feel fresh. Give people the opportunity to miss Smash Bros. Make it a long time, and then come back at it with a slightly different angle, bring in a whole bunch of other characters that weren't in the initial game, and yes, there may be a lot of characters missing, but it'll be something new, and that will have its own level of success when that day comes. But what they can do in the meanwhile to maximize Smash Ultimate is what they've done with Mario Kart 8. Mario Kart 8 is a huge game that has had all levels of success since it's come out in 2014 on the Wii U. It was the best-selling game on Wii U when it released back then. And it also was the game where we saw the first paid DLC from Nintendo, and it worked out pretty well. But then they reused Mario Kart 8, rebranded it as Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with new content in there, improved, and it released early on the Switch's life cycle in 2017, and it has gone on to become the best-selling game on Switch by a significant margin. Last I saw, the game has sold over 48 million copies. It is one of the greatest sold Nintendo games in history, and it's still doing numbers. And recently, Nintendo has announced their expansion pack for their Nintendo Online services. This includes N64 games, Sega Genesis games, and free DLC, and what they've announced even more recently is the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass, where we're seeing different ways of DLC, including new tracks or remade tracks from the history of Mario Kart, coming out throughout this year of 2022 until the end of 2023. We're about to get Wave 3, we're hitting that halfway point of the Mario Kart DLC, and people are coming back to Mario Kart. Even though this game initially released in 2014, had its deluxe update in 2017, and here we are in 2022, we're still thinking and talking about and playing Mario Kart 8 even today. And by the end of 2023, we'll be almost 10 years into the lifetime of Mario Kart 8. So what happens after that? Maybe by 2024 or a little bit beyond, we see the release of the next Mario Kart. And by that point, people will be ready for a new Mario Kart. We've been waiting for that next big jump for Mario Kart for some time, and that minimum 10-year gap we're going to have waited for a brand new Mario Kart game will do the next Mario Kart game well, because it's going to feel like something fresh and new, and people are going to jump on it because, well, by that point, we'll be a little bit tired of Mario Kart 8. And it's not to say Mario Kart 8 has gone stale. What they've done with Deluxe and what they've done with the DLC has helped it to become the best-selling game on Switch, and it's still going. So hopefully it's pretty obvious what I'm getting at here. Nintendo can treat Smash Ultimate in a similar way. Smash Ultimate is the third best-selling game on Switch. It is the best-selling fighting game of all time. It's doing incredibly well. The Fighters Pass Volumes 1 and 2 DLC went over splendidly, and people have been enjoying Smash Ultimate since it released in 2018. We're about at the 4-year mark. It hasn't been that long quite yet. The point I'm getting at here is that the way Nintendo's treated Mario Kart, Nintendo could also treat Smash Brothers. When you take a look at what they're doing with the Booster Course Pass right now, they have given us DLC, and we get it for free if we have paid for Nintendo's expanded online services. And when you take a look at the other free DLC options they've added there, they've added Animal Crossing, they've added Splatoon, from other major games that have very, very large audiences, from the best-selling games on Switch. So what's another that comes to mind? Well, Smash Ultimate, the third best-selling game on Switch that has both Volumes 1 and 2. So at some point or another, they may want to offer that for free. But a great deal of Smash fans already have Volumes 1 and 2. So I'm of the belief that at some point or another, there will be more DLC made available. Simply add Volume 3. Now I understand, some of you may be saying Sakurai needs a rest, he needs a break. Absolutely. I'm not saying this even has to come directly from Sakurai, he may just oversee things. Because we are unsure of the future of Smash Bros. Sakurai may not be going alongside of it, but Smash Bros. Does need to continue. If Sakurai stops making Smash Bros., that doesn't mean Smash will end. There will be more Smash. There is a new Smash per Nintendo system every time it comes out. Just like Mario Kart, just like Legend of Zelda, just like Super Mario, there's always at least one of these 4 franchises on every single Nintendo system. They're not going to just forget about Smash, even if Sakurai doesn't move forward with the series. But if they do focus on DLC, as opposed to making a brand new game, that's something that maybe Sakurai could more easily oversee and make sure is done well. So they would probably ask him to come in and work on the DLC, and depending on circumstances, he may or may not say yes, but if the labor in question isn't a full-on new game, well, that's something that's a little bit easier to swallow. But here I am talking about DLC, but the title of this video is talking about a deluxe version of Smash Bros. How will those differ? Well, I think this ultimately comes down to how Nintendo's going to bring in the next system. Because as we've seen with the Switch, software sales are doing incredibly well. Even though we're so late to the system's life cycle, software sales are just going really, really well right now. And I'm pretty sure, similar to Nintendo's competition, Nintendo is thinking about the smoothest transition over to their next generation system. The Switch is dated to hardware, they need to move on, but they don't want to lose the audience they currently have. And I think a great sign that Nintendo's going to do a more proper transition this time around compared to previous years is taking a look at their online services. They are actually charging for their online services now, and what that means is they're not going to just completely scrap it and expect people to start from scratch again on the next system, because they don't want to lose the people that have already signed up for that subscription service where Nintendo has passive income coming in every year. So instead, Nintendo's most likely going to have this account system transition over as seamlessly as possible, and this also includes the expansion pack where we're getting new N64 games and also new DLC packages, including the likes of Mario Kart DLC, Animal Crossing DLC, and perhaps even, eventually, Smash DLC. Because there are so many people that already have Smash Ultimate, it makes sense to just offer a Volume 3 at some point or another, and that could be free on Nintendo's online service. But depending on how things shake out, there may be an actual dedicated deluxe version that includes all the DLC and some updates all in one. And in truth, I can't say for sure if we'll just get a Volume 3 and a couple updates and that will be it. There won't actually be like a specific retail deluxe version. But this is what I feel confident in. The next system is going to be a more powerful system. There's been a lot of talk of DLSS and 4K technologies. I think it makes sense for the next version of Smash Bros. To be in 4K. So what I see happening, at the very least, with Nintendo's next system, there will be an update for some Nintendo games to run in 4K. I think this will include Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. In some way, shape, or form, this game will be in 4K, and I think there will at least be a Volume 3 with a few more characters and stages added. Maybe it won't be branded as a deluxe, but there will be a version of Smash Bros. That has better visuals and more content in it. And say this 4K update is just a free update for those who have Smash Ultimate already, or get Smash Ultimate on the new Switch, the Switch 2. Fine. And Volume 3 is just available through Nintendo's online eShop. But I really feel like at that point, if both those things happen, there would at least be an opportunity to have another physical release that will have all the content of Smash Bros. DLC in one. You've seen that before with different games. Why can't they do it with Smash Ultimate? Especially fighting games. A lot of times fighting games will have a complete version released sometime down the road. But since we're on the subject, let's entertain the idea of a little bit more. If there is a Smash Ultimate Deluxe, I expect a 4K update, I expect more characters and stages that could come alongside of Volume 3 of the DLC, but also, maybe they could add a few more modes. We're still missing Target Break. That would be nice to see. Maybe they could have another variant of an adventure mode. Maybe bring back what they had for Melee, but something slightly more customized per character. Now this would require a great deal more of work, so I'm not necessarily expecting something like that, but if they want to lengthen the lifespan of Smash Ultimate and have things last for a good while, similar to how things are going with Mario Kart, they may be doing things like this to keep fans engaged with Smash Bros., keep people playing and talking about Smash Bros., continue these really strong evergreen sales we've seen for Smash Ultimate, and so let's say 6 years down the road from now, when we're approaching the 10-year anniversary for Smash Ultimate, we can then start talking about the next Smash Bros., because by that point, things will be different, we'll be ready for something new, and even though it's unlikely they'll come in with every single character we've ever seen in the past, like with Ultimate, they can come at it from a new, fresh direction, and because we'll be ready for something new, it'll probably go over pretty well. But what do you guys think? What do you guys make of the possibility of a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Deluxe in the not so distant future, maybe about a couple years or so from now? Let me know in the comments below. This is On Just Restart. Thank you so much for listening and watching, and I'll see you all really soon. Take care. Bye.